What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Leo coming to you guys with yet another video. Coming at you guys today with my WrestleMania 39 predictions. WrestleMania is a two-night event. As you guys don't know, WrestleMania is taking place Saturday and Sunday this weekend. So I wanted to bring you guys my predictions for WrestleMania. I was going to do NXT Stand and Deliver, but the card is not fully um, out yet, or like the matches are not fully full yet. So I wanted to wait on that till like later tomorrow, and then I'll probably bring that video for you guys then. But I decided I want to bring you guys WrestleMania. I do think that they're probably done with the matches that they're going to do for this show. So we're going to get into it. The first match: Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio, father versus son. I think this match is probably is decades in the making. I know a lot of people would probably be like, "What do you mean decades in the making?" If you don't remember, back in 2005 around SummerSlam, that's when they did the custody of Dominic match. So and Dominic was used in that storyline. So this technically this story is decades in making, going back to 2005. So and the whole story is pretty much going back to him turning on his father at Clash of the Castle last year, joining Judgment Day, and being with him ever since, and tormenting his father every chance he could get, whether if it was on promo or a physical attack from physical attacks that he done with him over Christmas break and over New Year's and Thanksgiving, all of that. I might have goofed on the New Year's part, but I do know Thanksgiving and Christmas for sure, because I think that's when we did see Dominic did get arrested for Christmas, and then pretty much became the ex-con Dom type of character. Um, who do I think is gonna win? I would love to see Dominic Mysterio win. I think it would make some type of sense, because I don't know. I think you torment your dad for so long that I think you probably do get beat. But I do think if this is probably gonna be Rey Mysterio's last match with him going into the Hall of Fame, I do think that it would make sense for him to pass the torch to Dominic, and maybe a small chance they have that heartfelt moment as Rey Mysterio does leave and ride off into the sunset, um, and and calling it a career, because I think he's done everything that there is to do as a career, and I think he will go down as an absolute legend in the business. Um, Definitely an inspiration, and I'm definitely proud of Rey Mysterio and everything that he's done in his career, and the message that he's been able to put out with it never being about how big or tall you are, you can succeed, and he's definitely bringing in the next generation of the smaller competitors, from Johnny and people like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just very cool to see how big of an impact that Rey Mysterio has left on the business. Um, so I do think in this match, I think it'll be very story driven and very competitive. I would say Rey Mysterio is going to pick up the win here. I do think Rey Mysterio is going to pick up the win, but I will not be surprised if they do give Dominic the win here. The next match, we have the men's WrestleMania showcase match. We have Braun Strowman and Ricochet versus the Street Profits, Alpha Count, and the Viking Raiders. I do think this match is going to be very interesting, because I think there's different styles in the match. You have Ricochet and you have Montez Ford being the high flyers. So I definitely think that's going to be very interesting to see how they fare with these other styles, from technicians to powerhouses and stuff like that. Um, who do I think is going to win this match though? Um, I don't think Alpha Academy are gonna win. I think something's gonna take place to where Otis leaves, because I did hear there are plans in place to have Chad Gable become um a get pushed after Mania, post Mania. So I would love to see what they do with him. Hopefully they do give him the credit and the push that he deserves, because I do think he should be a U.S. or Intercontinental Champion. Just imagine the match that he and Gunther can have. I would love to see them face each other. Viking Raiders, I think they have a strong case, but I think usually what happens in some of these cases, when you win on the go home show, they don't win at Mania. But then there are some cases where they do, and I'm talking about Ricochet and the Street Profits. So I do think those are two names that people are going to look at, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do try to go with the shock here, or I wouldn't say a shock, but just a swerve in general. With the Viking Raiders winning, I could see it happening. I'm just not too sure if they're gonna pull the trick on it. Um, I think this is probably going to play into everything that's going to happen after Mania. So, you know what? I'm going to go with the Viking Raiders to pick up the win. I think Viking Raiders are going to get the win here. I could see any other of these. I could see Ricochet and Braun and Strowman winning. I could see the Street Profits winning, but I'm going to go with the Viking Raiders because I think what happens later in the show will make sense to you guys. So, I'm going to let you guys know then. The next match, we have the women's showcase match. We have Natalia and Shotzi. We have Ronda and Shayna versus Chelsea Green and um, Sonya Deville and Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez. Um, in this match, who's gonna win? I think Ronda and Shayna are gonna win. I don't really care for this match. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I really don't care for this match. It just sucks because all these women pretty much earned their way just for Shayna and Ronda just to get added and didn't have to earn their way in. It just sucks. It just says like it says to the women like you can always earn your way into these matches, but then you will put in a team who doesn't have to earn their way in, and it just makes you look bad. And then they'll end up winning the match, and it's just like what? Nah, I'm not feeling. I don't like when people when the WWE treats their women like that. I don't like that. I'm not with that. The next match is sure to probably one of the top matches of WrestleMania weekend. And we're talking about the Intercontinental Championship, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus versus the Intercontinental Champion Gunther, aka Walter. Who do I think is going to win this match? I will love to see Sheamus win. I think Sheamus will be a feel good moment because I think, you know, Sheamus is want to become the Grand Slam champion. This is the last title that he wants to hold. Um, Drew McIntyre, it seems like he's more on the tweener side, but showing a little bit more heel in this story. I would love to see how that dynamic plays out. What if I could see something happen with Drew, pretty much like screwing over Sheamus and winning the championship, and then you could do something where the storyline continues where Drew and Sheamus fight for the Intercontinental Championship. You remember how in 2021 Drew and Sheamus faced each other in their feud leading up to Mania, and Drew was the face and Sheamus was the heel. You could role reverse with this one and have Drew be the heel and Sheamus be the face. I can see that story possibly playing out, and then Sheamus eventually gets the championship, or you could have him win it here. But for some reason, I would love to see Sheamus win, but for some reason, I think Gunther is going to retain. I think it would be cool to see Sheamus, try to build himself back up from this and, go after the Intercontinental Championship at Clash of the Castle, because that will make 1 year since he could challenge for it. And I would love to see him win it there because I think the crowd will be pop for him, or he could even win it at Money in the Bank because I think it's supposed to be in London. So I think it would be kind of cool if they did it there. Um, I think Drew would be a cool person to win the championship. I think that story will be even more cool to tell, the story of two friends fighting over a championship now because, and now the roles were reversed because, Sheamus considered Drew like a brother. He was at his wedding and everything like that. And, screwing him over and then, causing him the championship that he really wanted desperately. And it will only add more to the character of Drew, post Mania and that feud that they could potentially do. Um, I think Gunther is going to retain here. I think they want him to surpass the Intercontinental Championship record held by the Honky Tonk Man, to surpass that, and then maybe have him drop it after that. Or I mean, if they do have him drop it here, I do think he probably will, slowly progress and then slowly ascend into the main event scene on SmackDown and go after the World Championship. Because I do think at SummerSlam, I could see him challenging for one of the world titles if it's split by then. So I don't know who can win this match. I could see any one of these people winning, and I wouldn't be upset. But if I only can pick one, I have to go with Gunther. Gunther to become and retain the Intercontinental Championship. Here's another. The next match is a match that some people are not really talking about too much, but it's going to be a banger of a match. No pun intended, to be for sure. We have the Brood Edge, which I think they're going to go with, versus the Demon Finn Balor. I think this match is going to be very, interesting to see. I think this is the first time I do believe Finn Balor's ever been in a Hell in a Cell, and I think something like this type of match is kind of made for him. I do think it's made for him, in my opinion. Um, who do I think is gonna win this match? I can see Edge winning the match. I do think Edge could win because I think the stories they've been telling is he could never beat any member of the Judgment Day because somebody's always getting involved here. But in this match, I do think Finn Balor is gonna win. I think the Demon Finn Balor is going to win, and here's why. Because I think you after Post Mania, I think you will want Finn Balor to ascend to be the top heel in the on Raw. I think he's definitely the top heel on Raw in my opinion, and I think with the win over someone big like Edge would I think would definitely solidify that, and I think he's definitely somebody that Triple H is fully behind and wants to push, and they want to push him real heavy, and I think they're really hands on with pushing him the way they say they are. I think a win over Edge will do just that as well. And not only that, but I think I think in my opinion, I think Finn Balor he could be like the next Edge. In my opinion, I think he has some parallels to Edge in some way, shape, or form. So I do think Finn Balor will win here and then probably progress even further in his career. So yeah, there's that match. The next match is a match that I'm not really looking too forward to too much, to be honest, because I'm just not interested. And it's Brock Lesnar versus Omos. I'm not really looking forward to this match, in my opinion. But who I think is gonna win this match? I think Brock Lesnar is gonna win this match. I don't think this match really serves any type of purpose outside of probably Brock Lesnar hitting the F5 on Omos and then the crowd popping for that. Outside of the only thing I can really see is maybe the ring. Maybe they may do a ring break spot there. Maybe they'll do that. I think I think that will kind of be something to get like a cheap pop in a way. But I just don't think this match is really going to serve any type of purpose. I don't even see this match really going past 5 minutes. If it goes past 5 minutes, I'm pretty much just gonna tune out because I'm pretty much tuned out already. But I'm gonna tune out even more if this match goes past 5 minutes. But Brock Lesnar winning the match. We have Trish Stratus versus Lita. Not why I say versus Lita. We have Trish Stratus, Lita, and Becky Lynch versus Damage Control. Who I think is gonna win this match? I do think. I think after last night on Raw, I think it seems like Damage Control could win. I do. I did. I've been hearing the rumors being circled around as with the match being close, the possibility of Trish Stratus turning heel, and I could see that happening. I do think. I think instead of doing that on the night after Mania, because I think there's so much that's gonna be going on the night after Mania with returns and new stories being developed and new people being debuting. I think it would be overshadowed in a way. So I think if they were to do a heel turn for Trish, I think it would have to happen at Mania. But who I think is gonna win? I can see Becky, Lita, and Trish winning. I think Trish, Lita, Becky are gonna win to finally put the story to bed, and Damage Control can move on to other things, whatever that may be. Because I've been hearing rumors that they could probably break it up very soon. So I think that's what's gonna happen. We have our first women's championship match. We have the Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Asuka, the newly Asuka, aka Kana. But who do I think is going to win this match? It's very torn right now. I think the story has pretty much fell flat. There is no story going into this match. I feel like it should, but unfortunately it's not. Who do I think is going to win? I can see this match going either way. Uh, I know people are gonna say I think if you give the win to Bianca, it's just gonna feel like okay they're kind of doing a little bit too much. They're not. She's pretty much going into this show a year as champion, a full calendar year as champion, and hasn't really been beaten like that. So I think if you were to have her win, I think people will start to turn on her. I think people will start to turn on her. I think if you were to keep her as champion, the only way you could really save her from getting turned on is pretty much if you turn her heel. Maybe they decide to do a double turn in this match. I can see that possibly happening. But who do I think is going to win this match? I do think Asuka will become the new Raw Women's Champion. So I do have Bianca losing her championship and Asuka becoming the new SmackDown. It's not SmackDown. Raw Women's Champion. You guys, I goofed on that one. Here's one of the matches that I'm looking forward to. One of the matches I'm looking forward to the most. That being the undisputed tag team championships. The Usos defending their championships against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They finally are back together to take down the bloodline. They're all with one mission to take down the bloodline from within. This is going back for so long. This story goes back a while. Think about it. From Sammy trying to get in the bloodline, everybody's pretty much been okay with it except for Jay. Jay was always the one that the people didn't want to be in the bloodline. Jay didn't want him anywhere near his family, but over time, Jay became more comfortable with being a bloodline and embraced him as a brother, only for Sammy to turn on the bloodline at the Rumble for a huge pop, and then it left Jay conflicted. And even when he's came back and turned on Sammy, he's still been conflicted because you can tell everything he's been doing in his interactions with Roman. And I think, Jay is somebody I can see being the guy to beat the bloodline or turn on the bloodline, because I think the story has been always Jay wanting to become his own person, to finally leave just being one of the Usos, but being a true Uso, to be on a different level, to elevate himself to the next level, to prove that he's more than just a twin, that he can do things that people never thought he could. And I think that's the story that they're trying to tell here. And I think if you want to keep telling that story, there's gonna have to be something happen. So in this match, I do see Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens becoming the new undisputed tag team champions, and I do think this will further cause ascension with the bloodline, and it's especially with Jey Uso going forward, because I do think the whole story is for him to become his own person and again go off on his own, and I'll be so happy when he does be able to go off on his own and he can make some huge waves in the company and get some huge wins, man. So I have the Usos are gonna drop those titles there. The next match is the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Charlotte Flair defending against the Royal Rumble winner, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley won the Royal Rumble, winning at number 1 and lasted the entire Rumble match, punching her ticket to Wrestlemania. I goofed on that one, sorry you guys, but punching her ticket to Wrestlemania. And I do think Rhea Ripley is going to win. I think I would be very upset if Charlotte was to retain here. It would make no sense in the world for her pretty much win, because I think if you're looking at this feud, I think even though Charlotte's the babyface, people don't care. People just don't care. They just tired of seeing Charlotte as champion almost every pay-per-view, and I think I'm one of those who are just tired. And I'm not trying to offend any Charlotte Flair fans out there. It's just I'm not hating on her. It's just the booking I'm not a fan of, and the character. I think they should do something different. It's always I'm Charlotte Flair's daughter. I'm Ric Flair's daughter, and she just gets the title almost every time. And I think there's more to her than that. I would love to see what she could do in mid-card purgatory, but I do think Rhea Ripley's gonna win. I do think maybe there's some shenanigans in this match. I will probably. This is a little bit of fantasy booking here. I pretty much mentioned in some of the podcasts I've been part of. I do think that with they've been talking about this for probably leading up to Mania. I think Finn alluded to it and Rhea alluded to it as well. The possibility of expanding the Judgment Day post Mania. Who knows? They might even show a new person being involved. I do think the men's side of things on the Judgment Day are good for now. Maybe they might add one more member, but I'm not too sure. But I do think they should add another woman to the Judgment Day, and I think that should be Liv Morgan. If you guys have seen my video where I talked about how Liv Morgan could join Judgment Day, and should she join Judgment Day, and Rhea Ripley's talk very highly of her, even from them going in at number 2, and then lasting to the final 2, and then that being part of the story. And remember last year they were going after the tag team titles, and I think a lot of people love them as a team, because I think one of the things that people talk about as a team is some of these people get thrown together, but it's surprisingly crazy me how some of these people have chemistry. And I think Rhea and Liv is a very good example of people that were thrown together but had a good chemistry with each other. And I think I would love to see them team up again, or possibly lead to a one-on-one match down the line somewhere. But I do think Liv would benefit by joining WWE because I think, even Rhea said if she was Liv was to join, they can take her to new heights. They could show her her true potential and take her to the very next level. And I would love to see what she could do in Judgment Day. I think you can have her, interfere in this match because there is history with both women. Liv had a match with Charlotte Flair a while back, and she's been the reason that Liv has been when she was still sporting the Riot Squad gear. She said when she came back, she was gonna be a different woman. It took some time, but she became a different woman and became Miss Money in the Bank and became champion. And I think someone who's been a cause for your transformation over the years, I think it will be a huge thing to do. And I think another thing I was gonna mention earlier. Imagine if they do have they do this four-way. Liv turns on Raquel. She turns on Raquel, and she later in the night, or in probably the next night, one of those, she joins Judgment Day and helps Rhea Ripley become SmackDown champion. And then she becomes the new part woman of the Judgment Day. This can lead to numerous stories. You could probably do a rematch with Charlotte. I'm pretty sure they're gonna probably try to do that. Hopefully they don't. But you can tell a new story having Raquel and Rhea Ripley go 1-on-1 for the championship. Because if you don't remember, they have history. They did have a match in NXT, and that match was so entertaining. It was great. If you guys have not seen that match, I'm not sure the pay-per-view or event, but I would probably leave it down in the comment section down below. But if you guys know, they had a huge match, and I would love to see them revisit that on the main roster. So I do have Rhea Ripley retaining, and the possibility of Liv Morgan helping her and joining Judgment Day in the process. The next match, Seth freaking Rollins versus Logan Paul. Who do I think is going to win this match? I think this match is going to be very entertaining. I think it's very clear, very easy to say that. It's going to be very entertaining. We've seen Logan Paul's matches, the matches he's had with Roman, the matches he's had so far have been very entertaining. The match he had with, Roman really put him up there. And I think with him still being very early in his career, he's definitely showed he can go out there and put up a good match. And I think this will be no exception. But I do think Seth Rollins is going to win. I think Logan Paul has been getting the upper hand on Seth the most of this feud, pretty much laying punches on him pretty much for the most part. So I do think Seth Rollins will get his comeuppance, and going forward, he probably will go after the world title. I think he's ready for another world title run. Hopefully, he gets that later this year. The next match is the match that's going to be kicking off WrestleMania weekend on Saturday. We have the United States Champion, Mr. 8-Town Down himself, Austin Theory, versus John Cena. I do think Austin Theory is going to retain here. I think John Cena, I think this match is going to be very story driven and very interesting to see how it plays out. But I do think John Cena is going to put over Austin Theory to be the next big thing, the next star in the company. And I do think if John Cena was to win here, I think it would, diminish Austin Theory and everything he's been saying so far. It would pretty much make everything John Cena said come true. Because remember, in their exchange, John Cena, if I win, you lose everything. You're done. And I do believe that. If John Cena wins, Austin Theory is pretty much done. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He is done. Now, I do think Austin Theory is going to win here. But I don't think it'll be easy. I think he might try to cheat or do something. Or maybe he might win clean. I don't know. But either way, I do see Austin Theory retaining. And I believe the next match is the main event. The match that everybody's looking forward to. Roman Reigns, the undisputed champion, the head of the table, the tribal chief, against the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And This is marking 1 full year that Roman's been the undisputed champion, but over 900 plus days he has been, you know, Universal Champion. So I do think here is where we finally get to see it, the moment we all been wanting to see. Cody Rhodes is winning the Undisputed Championship. I think it has to happen. I think if you have Cody lose here, it would make no sense. It would make no sense because I understand that if you would have Roman win, I think the only purpose it would serve is to have him win, surpass 1,000 days. And with the reports of him leaving after Mania and not coming back around summer until around SummerSlam, I don't think that would work. I don't think they should do that. We need the championships uh, on our shows. We can't go months without the world titles. And I think they will be missing a huge opportunity to crown Cody here. If you were to hold off on, you know, him winning until SummerSlam, there's no telling what can happen. He could get injured again. There, it could be solely, it could be everything could change because people might not care about him going into SummerSlam. The story won't have as much impact to it going into SummerSlam. So I think they will be missing a prime opportunity to crown him here. Him coming back to win the championship that's eluded his family for so long, and then for him to lose it, it just would be like, why did you come back to begin with? It'd be, why did you come back here to if you're gonna lose? If you're gonna come back just to lose, it would make no sense here. I think Cody definitely has to win it here, and I think this is where we get to see the full dissension of the bloodline. And I do think Jey Uso turns and helps Cody. Maybe. I could see this happening. I could see the bloodline coming down because in these scenarios where this high stakes Roman defending the championship, the bloodline tries to come down to interfere to help Roman retain. The reference down, all of that. But I can see something where Jey Uso has a chair. Jey Uso has a chair or going for a super kick on Cody. Cody pretty much evades. He evades the super kick or the chair shot, and Roman ends up getting hit with the super kick or chair shot. But the match isn't over there. Roman is back up to the feet, and Jey is like, I didn't mean that. And then Roman is getting irate. He pretty much beats on Jey Uso, and it shows his full colors. And I think a lot of the bloodlines start to see that. They start to see that, and I think we see the bloodline walk away, minus Paul Heyman, and we do see Cody hit numerous crossroads to get the 1, 2, 3 to become the new undisputed Universal Champion, and then Roman goes off to, take time off and then come back around SummerSlam. What I could see happening is maybe once he comes back, I think the story that they could probably do at SummerSlam is do Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns. I think that'd be a good match to have. Almost pretty much 3 years after the first start of the bloodline, and have Jey win there, and I think that would catapult him into the stratosphere. I've seen people possibly even talk about the possibility of The Rock making an appearance here to set up a match down the line at next year's WrestleMania. So I think that's what they could do, and I think there'll be numerous things you could do with Cody being a champion. You can have him go face Finn Balor for the titles, Drew McIntyre being a heel. You can have different things happen here. I think there's more stories you can tell and feuds you could do with Cody being a champion now. So I do think Cody will win the championships here. But that is the end of my video. This video, you guys. Those are my WrestleMania 39 predictions. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, hit the post notification bell so next time I post a new video. We're on the road to 500. We're at 462 right now. So please, if you're new and you love wrestling, please subscribe to the channel. It really goes a long way. We're trying to get to that 1K mark by the end of the year, but we're trying to get to 500 by WrestleMania. Can we do it? I hope we can. But that is the end of this video, you guys. I appreciate you guys kicking it with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.